but the message has been resoundingly received, and I am gratified by the response that I've gotten in every part of this district. If you think I'm just a politician making up rhetoric or trying to expand their candidacy, try it yourself. Start asking people, have you heard about this Chuck Volpe guy, and see the response you get. They're going to tell you, yeah, we heard about him, and you know him, and is it true, and is he really giving up the salary, and is he going to do the things he said? And the reason isn't to brag, and the reason isn't to just call or grandstand or call attention to myself. Because I'm doing it to let people know I'm going for the right reasons. There is only one reason I'm going. And you can say, and it's all, talk is cheap, God knows among politicians, but when you say, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, you sound like all the other politicians. So you have to tell them something that they can believe in and they can trust. And what they understand is, and I've spoken to a lot of seniors, spoken to a lot of people and a lot of young people. It resonates with them off the charts, young people and seniors, that you're doing this as a contribution. That's what politics was intended to be. It really was. It wasn't for career opportunities. It wasn't for your job. It was for the people that are standing here and the people out there that need representation and need to put their faith in somebody that they can believe in. That's what politics was about from the day our country was founded. And it doesn't happen anymore. It rings hollow. The people I see running, the most important job they're concerned about saving is their own. The careers they're most concerned about is their own career, and their own benefits, and their own per diems, and their own health care, and their own perks. Well, unless you find a candidate that comes along that says, I won't take the car, I won't take the health care, I won't take the perks, I won't take the per diem. In fact, I'm going to go on better, I'm not even going to take a salary. Well, try to shoot a hole in that argument. What reason could this person possibly be going for? And the reason I've had to do things in such an extreme measure is, again, not to grandstand, but for people to believe. It's scary out there. You may believe me because you see people in this room who you trust, say, yeah, he's good. You can trust him, integrity, honor. But for all those folks out there, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands in this district, they don't believe. They want to put their hand in the nail marks almost. They've been lied to so many times. So you know what resonates? What gets above the din? About 7,000 points of television and a message that they can immediately gain and adhere to and believe. Now they're listening to me. Now they're listening to me because they've heard enough to say, we're going to take a chance in this guy and we're going to believe him. And that's really what this campaign is about. This campaign is about jobs. I stopped on our way up here, and I've told this story to a few of you before. We had a great laugh, so I have his permission to take his name in vain. But down the other end of the valley, Old Forge Way, I was down there for the round ball, they have a little breakfast down there, talking to my good friend Al Semenza. And I said, I've been taking your name on the campaign trail. He said, well, what do you mean? What are you doing? And I reminded him, now his wife Janice was standing there, and I reminded him of a story that actually she had told me, and that my good friend Mike Bartletti had told me. After a state semifinal loss, Old Forge suffered a devastating loss for their community. They thought they had a chance back in Johnny Anello's time to make a run and win like you did in '93, I believe, Glenn. Well, Glenn was here. When you won a state championship, pretty hard thing to do. Congratulations, by the way. So, Glenn, very, very great thing to do. He thought he had his chance to win a state championship. They were up 2, Glenn, and a kid launched a half-court shot and banked it in. And they were crying. They were crying in the court, the players. Well, Al goes home, and he proceeds for the next 5 or 6 hours to watch this film down in his basement where he had a little sports room set up, over and over and over again. Finally, his wife Janice came down and said, Al, look, I'm as heartbroken as you, but, what are you doing? You've watched it for that 5 o'clock in the morning. Come to bed. He said, hey, yeah, I'm coming. He said, I just can't get it out of my head. She said, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going back to bed. If the shot misses, wake me up. Well, you know what? Don't we do the same thing with our politicians and why people have had it out there? Because they're like watching the same tape and the same replay over and over and over again. They may have different color suits. They may different color ties. They may say the same thing in a different way. They're going to all talk about jobs, and they're going to talk about tax reform. They're going to talk about, even some of my opponents now are talking about doing away with per diems. One has argued that he tried to lower his salary. Really? You try to lower your salary? I want to ask him when we debate, well, they forced you to take it, did they? Why'd you do what I'm doing? Give it to charity if you're trying to lower your salary. You know what? Getting back to my friend Al Semenza, there's a point in that story. And it's kind of a funny story, a sad one for them. But the point is, We can watch this tape over and over and over, and it's not going to change. If you keep sending, whether it's a local official or a municipal official or a state official or somebody that serves in the legislature or somebody that was a commissioner, all good, fine gentlemen, they're all the same. And if you really think anything is going to change, look at what they've done in public service so far. Nothing has. Nothing ever changes. You know how you change it? You look for a different outcome. You turn the projector off and you look at another film. You look at another type of candidate. Well, there is a different kind of candidate in this race. There's only one, to my knowledge, that has to meet a payroll. 40 employees every week. In this difficult economy, we added 7 jobs. I'm not, castigating. I know it's tough for folks out there, but we found a way to get it done. There is a way to get it done. I hear a lot about health care. I paid for 40 employees. I filled out union cards, or union questionnaires as a candidate. They say, would you sponsor legislation which employers are forced to at least contribute to health care for their employees? Real easy one for me. I pay for all of my employees' health care for 40 employees. That's an easy one. Sure, of course. Property taxes. Built all these beautiful casinos. If you've seen my latest commercial, they promised all this property tax relief. I know in Carbondale you've gotten some back. Well, guess what? Most of the folks in the district did not. You know what Scranton School District, the biggest one in this area, got back from their casino tax revenue? $100. $100 for the whole district. That's not per property holder. That's $100 for the whole district. That's a penny per property holder. While their property taxes keep going up. Now, I'm not going to pretend to you I have all the answers, but I know a couple things that are going to happen. We're going to reduce the size of government when I get down there. We're going to make government live like I have to live and you have to live. Whether it's in your personal finances at your home, when you sit down with your husband and your kids to figure out a budget. Can we afford a summer vacation this year? Well, I don't know. There's been cutbacks at work and the outside income isn't as good, and, well, maybe we can't. You have to make those hard decisions. What stays in, what stays out. I do in my business. I have to make those hard decisions. Can we add those 2 extra jobs we need? Can we throw in a 401k for employees? Or can't we? Because I know what kind of revenue we're going to be looking at, and I have to live within my means. If our company runs out of money in November, am I going to tell the 40 employees I can't help you at Christmas time? Well, you know what? I have to live within those means. Why not our government? It's a joke. So you know what our government does when they have a hole in their budget? Ed Rendell came up with 60 new forms of sales tax. That ought to do wonders for our businesses in Pennsylvania and all of the job creation he talks about in this state. That's not an answer. Why doesn't somebody say, enough? How about you cut down in government? How about we lose 10 senators and about 50 reps? How about we, you know how many billions of dollars that will add up? Billions. At any rate, I don't want to be, I can go on and on. I want to personally thank you for coming out here today, but here's the thing. It's always tough for somebody like me to win a race, because I am one of you. It's not a politician. I don't have any endorsements. I was talking to a few young ladies over here, and the mayor of a particular town is not for me and is putting out the word that they're for this candidate. Names aren't important. It's a true story. My message is going right to people. And you know what is going to happen this election? I believe it, and that's why I'm standing here, and that's why I'm on that ballot. They're going to tell their mayor, John Q. Citizen and Jane Doe, you know what they're going to tell the mayor? You know what they're going to say? Yeah, Mayor, we got you. You told us how to vote. You always tell us how to vote. We got you. The only one that benefits is the mayor. They never see any of them. You know what those people are going to do? They're going to listen to our message. They're going to listen to you folks out there in the hustings and in the grassroots. And I'll be on the television doing my thing, and you'll be out there in the grassroots spreading the word and the gospel of this campaign. And people, if they have a candidate they can believe in and a message, we're going to win this thing, and we will change Harrisburg. I will come back to here with a broom. This will be the biggest thing you've ever seen. We're going to sweep out all those people that keep this town.